Today, I will be exploring photographs from the Taking It to the Streets exhibition, which includes street photography from the LUAG Collection to highlight the influence of art in the daily lives of New Yorkers, both past and present. The photographs seen in this presentation capture candid moments of New Yorkers. Each photo depicts a different moment where art captivated daily life. Walking down the streets of New York, everywhere you turn your head, there is bound to be art. Whether it is a painted canvas being sold on the side of the street or even the Museum of Modern Art, there's art absolutely everywhere. Just walking through Times Square, you'll see so many works of art and even lose track of them. New York is one of the most diverse and creative cities in the world. It is known to be a cultural center that has been commemorated by infinite generations of artists for its extremes of wealth and poverty. Almost every aspect of life in New York has been explored by writers, artists, and even filmmakers. This photo was photographed by Todd Webb in 1945. The photo is named LaSalle at Amsterdam, which are two cross streets located in the upper part of Manhattan, specifically in a neighborhood known as Harlem. As a New Yorker, I could easily picture this scene in the streets of New York just in the present time. Based off observation, this picture shows two vendors selling vegetables on the side of the street. This work of art was photographed shortly after World War II. In the photograph, you can tell one of the vendors is pouting while the other one has a soft smile on his face. This expresses the various feelings New Yorkers had after the war. Times were really tough, and photographs really captured it all. This photo was captured by Ken Heyman in 1985. It is titled Man in Chair Holding a Fake Female Head. This photo of a man holding an oversized woman's head expresses the bizarre things you are bound to see on the streets of New York. These types of scenes are what makes the city so unique. Non-New Yorkers would be a little freaked out and find this photo crazy, but locals would just see this as normal daily life in New York. This photo was captured by Leon Levinstein in 1954. Levinstein was known for documenting everyday street life in New York. He moved to New York City in the 1940s and spent his life photographing candid moments in the streets of the city. This photo is named Man in Suit, Woman in Fur Coat. This photo captures two people that appear to be wealthy New Yorkers. In the 1950s, fur coats were typically a sign of wealth. It appears that the two are both looking at something in the near distance and may have just left the theater or some other formal attire event. There is so much that can be interpreted from this photo just based off appearances. This photo was taken by Sabine Weiss in 1955. Weiss was a French photographer born in Switzerland. She focused on capturing candid moments within her street photography. Her photos were never staged. This photo is called Sisters Crossing a Street, New York. This photo almost has an eerie feel to it from the way one of the sisters glares at the camera and the other sister has her face hidden in her veil. The one-point perspective in this photo also adds a creepy feel to it. The sister's face seems to be the very center point of the photo. They are clearly on their way to some kind of activity or even prayer. It seems as though they were not too happy to be photographed, which really adds to the not staged part of the photo. Through these photos, it is clear that daily life in New York has changed drastically but also stayed the same throughout the years. All the photos displayed in this presentation were taken in New York from the 1940s through the 1960s. Each photo tells a different story of what life was like for the people who were photographed. You can easily interpret their roles in the workplace or even society through viewing these photos. Each photographer featured in this exhibition had the same interest of capturing candid moments that tell a story. New York City is known for its theaters, museums, and street art. During the time these photos were photographed, New York was reaching a population of close to 2 million people. The city was buzzing more than ever. These photos captured so many different and exciting moments in the history of New York. New York City is known for its theaters, museums, and street art. During the time these photos were photographed, New York was reaching a population of close to 2 million people. The city was buzzing more than ever. These photos captured so many different and exciting moments in the history of New York. Thank you for listening to my presentation on the Taking It to the Streets exhibition. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new.